Hello! That was Mum gasping at the thought that this is going to be on video. Yeah. Hi, Mum.
Hello, my beautiful darling, and how are you?
I'm good. It's 8 p.m. on a Wednesday, so I'm feeling like
Fatigued.
I'm feeling like it's 8 p.m. on a Wednesday.
Aye, but we've been so busy. We've been doing loads of things, so
Yeah.
you're allowed to be fatigued.
Yeah, oh my god, you guys and girls, there is so much goodies on their way to do with the Patreon. We've been like little workers in the day and the night. Just
I've been getting up at 4:30 every morning,
literally
cramming,
yeah,
realising that actually there's things that take a lot longer than I imagined,
yeah,
and trying to edit. So apologies for the slow start. I am getting better.
yeah. We both are. We're kind of figuring out the fastest, streamlined ways
Solution.
yeah. But it's been really good because I think we're getting really close to like finding that recipe now.
Yeah, and it's a learning curve, like everything.
Yeah.
So every time you start something new, it's a bit wobbly, isn't it? Do you remember the first time you learned how to ride a bike?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. That was a long time ago. Actually, I remember getting on a bike in my 30s, and I hadn't been on one since I was like, I don't know, a tiny, weeny little thing.
Really?
Yeah, and it was one of those. Is it a rally bike? It was like super high, and it had, those bikes where you have to lean over. You know that like
Oh
racing
yeah.
bike. So it was really high, so I could barely touch. Once I got on it, I could barely touch the floor, and then I was thinking, "Oh, this is scary." Just about a nanosecond before it fell over.
Oh no!
So
Really?
that was the last time I got on a bike. It didn't go anywhere.
Are you serious? Oh my god!
100%.
You must hate bikes.
Well,
I don't mind bike rides. I quite like it. It sounded like that bike was not a good fit for you.
No, and
Mm.
I really did hurt myself and show myself up. I think my pride was dented more than my body parts, but
Well, yeah. That's sad. And what an interesting start to our episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our brain farts, and we're back in the room, and this is episode 45. So I'm good, yes. How are you, Mum?
I'm okay, my darling. Thank you for asking. And we were just having a brief discussion before we got started about what we were going to talk to everybody about today. Does that make sense?
Sure.
And we decided that
Said
we
all
were
the right
going
words.
just not in the right order.
Yeah.
But we decided that we were going to do love and romance because it's like the fire season, and that's all to do with the heart and love. But I think we're going to save that till episode 46. I think
The
we
next
said
one.
no, because the next one's going to be more about how June's going to
Oh, so
come in.
so episode 47 will be romance.
No, today's 45.
Yeah.
So next one will be the
46.
Yeah. Oh no, you're right.
I know. Shocking. You must be tired. For me to do better math than you. How is everybody else? Let's ask the audience. How are you doing? We're both obviously exhausted. But it's all for the greater good. Mum's like looking in space. What?
Hang on.
What?
Today's 44.
No, today's 45.
Oh, that's where I've gone wrong.
Yeah.
So it is 47. Yes,
Yeah.
you're right.
Cool.
2
yes.
plus 45 is 47.
That's correct. This is actually a math podcast now. We've tricked you all to coming here. I knew you all like Feng Shui, but you're actually here for a math class. Repeat after me. 45 plus 2 is 47. Well done, everyone. Well done. Pat the back.
So today we're going to introduce it's actually so important and is a sort of keystone of other things because you're basically personalizing Feng Shui. So there's Feng Shui's got so many different layers. So the first layer is everybody can use. It's looking at the Bagua. It's not paying attention to flying stars or other more sophisticated or sophisticated schools. It's literally just looking at the Bagua, and you can associate, say, for example, romance with the Southwest, and it's sort of, and that's as far as it goes. But today I want to introduce something known as the master element or the self element. So there's like a linchpin for
A
personalized.
linchpin?
Can you say that? A
What?
cornerstone?
I've never heard of linchpin.
Have you not? It's when you.
Ever.
Well, it's not very nice actually, because as far as I'm aware, it's the thing that stops a grenade going off. So
Oh
when
my
you,
god.
so when you pull out
Wow.
the pin, it becomes active.
Great.
So it changes its power. So so what I'd like to do by introducing and talking about the master element, it means your feng shui um, consequences,
Analysis? Okay.
results, yeah,
Yeah.
will be massively amplified and become much more personalized to you, because you're not just looking at one direction out of eight. You're actually you
Mm.
start to put together all the different energies that you're born with, and you can start to use that in terms of how you interact with your immediate environment. So yes, the Southwest is typically the direction for love and romance, marital bliss, partnerships, but there's more to it. So that's what I'd like to talk to everybody today about.
So so the Southwest is generally love and romance, just as an example. But
Hmm.
then what would it actually be, like, say if it was somebody else, it was actually Northwest, but would it also be the Southwest?
If you're just looking at the Bagua, then the southwest direction is to do with marital happiness and bliss and typically romance or
Okay.
partnerships, because you can use it for business partnerships. But if you were just doing one layer, the surface layer, beginner's layer, then you
Okay.
would just look at what's going on in your home in the southwest. Do you have a missing corner, for example? So
Mm.
when you do a floor plan, you ideally your floor plan would have all the sectors in place. So that means you've got balance.
Mm.
But not everybody's house has that. Houses come in all different shapes and sizes.
Mm.
So some houses may have extensions in their southwest. So their southwest sector may be bigger than the other sectors. And equally, you may have, sorry, I'm a bit itchy. So you may have a missing sector.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to know.
Everybody
Nobody needs,
knows.
no, it's still
Everybody
there.
knows.
It's still there.
Great. Thank you
Okay.
for that. And making me itch. I actually got told off by Nan, Mum's mum, because she watched the. So we've got our first video finally on YouTube. That took like way too long. But Nan watched it and she was just like, I know why you've got spots, by the way. And I was like, yeah, right, why? And she was like, well, I watched the video and you're touching your face the whole time. And I was like, yeah, I do touch my face. Stop it. Stop it. And I was like, all right, all right. And now I'm just like, all I want to do is touch my face. You got
Well,
you
I had to,
scratching.
yeah. So if you want to know where, you have to watch the video. So
Secrets, smashing secrets.
yeah, no, I'm touching everything.
Yeah, I know. I
So
just yeah, yeah.
so back to where we were before. If
Uh-huh.
you have a missing sector, then that energy is going to be reduced, because it's not going to have the same surface area as another one. Does that make sense?
How can you have a missing area? Surely there's going to be an area.
Well, if your house is a perfect circle, then you go to the centre and every sector will be the same. But let's be honest, who lives, apart from Rapunzel, who lives in a circular tower or
I'm sure there's many people that live in a circular tower. Everyone put your hands up if you live in a circular tower. Oh, what's that? 11 people. Apologise.
to your imaginary friends? I'm so
Yes.
sorry.
Thank you. Thank you,
But
Joe.
no. No, let's not go there.
It's Leslie.
But no. But most people would have perhaps a square or rectangular house.
Yeah.
So say it's a rectangular house. If you go to the centre, I live in a rectangular shaped house. So I have extended east and west sectors because that's what's that noise?
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
There's
Is
someone
that
yelling outside. Yeah.
okay, well
Got
they're
a very
happy.
powerful microphone.
Yeah. So if you're in a rectangle, the elongated part the will have the wider, the more bigger surface area, whereas the narrow side bits. So I'm not being very clear
Yeah,
here.
no, I'm with you.
Will be smaller. So, for example,
Yeah.
my house is facing south, but
Yeah.
it's quite long and narrow. So my
Yeah.
south and my north sectors are very short in comparison to the east and west sectors, which are
Sure.
elongated.
Sure.
But I also have because my house isn't a perfect rectangle, I have a chunk missing in my northeast sector. So my northeast
Right.
sector is really compromised. It's much smaller.
Oh, so like, okay, I'm imagining like a floor plan and
Mm-hmm.
like skip out all the rooms and stuff, but just like looking at the,
Perimeter.
yeah, the perimeter and like imagine if it's kind of like shaped like a really blocky P, you know what I mean? So it's not
Yeah.
like a perfect filled in rectangle shape. It's like actually got a nice chunk of it missing, like a P shape.
Where are you getting the P
Or
shape
like
from?
an L shape. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So when you're saying there's like the northwest is missing or whatever, that's the grey zone where there's nothing there.
Yeah, where it's outside
Right.
your boundaries.
Oh, okay, I'm with you.
So according to the Bagua, you'll be missing a certain percentage of that energy because when we look at the sectors, we go from the center of the building. So we need to find the center point, and then you draw out the 24 mountains. So you can do it as a beginner. You draw out the Bagua, you draw out 8 sectors, and that would each sector would be 45 degrees. So
Mhm.
then you get the sort of the
Pie
southwest would,
shape.
yeah. I mean, you can do it. There's another way of doing it is to do it as a grid. So it's whichever one you feel comfortable with. I mean, I personally I prefer the pie shape. That's how I like it. But you can
Yeah.
do it as a 9 square grid.
Oh, okay. And like, so I've seen you in the past, like you get like tracing paper and then you just kind of put that on top of your floor plan.
Yeah,
And that's how
yeah.
you can see the bagua of your house.
Yeah, so if you on the first level you do the Bagua, but when you
Okay.
get deeper into it, there's something called the 24 mountains,
Okay.
and we'll put that on our pages so that people can print it off and they can use it themselves,
Oh,
or
on the
just use it.
Patreon.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's called 24 mountains, but it's basically where you look at each of the 8 sectors of the Bagua and you divide each sector into 3, which are 15
Oh.
degrees. So
Oh, wow.
say you've got Southwest 1, Southwest 2, Southwest 3, West 1,
Mm.
West 2, West 3, Northwest 1, Northwest 2, Northwest 3, and so on until
That's
so each
so
one's
specific. Do you then get
yeah.
48 mountains where you
No,
divide those
no,
even
no,
further?
no, because the 24 mountains, sorry, are have their own subtle energies. So
Wow.
yeah, and it is extraordinary because this is why I wanted to talk about the master element and the Bardsey because this is where it ties in together. So everybody will have a different reaction. So you could have a house that has really
Mm.
amazing feng shui for one person,
Mm.
but not so much for somebody else because they'll have different Bardsey charts, so they'll have
Mm.
react differently
Mm.
to the energies inside. So
Yeah.
ideally you'd live in a home where not only you've got the basic feng shui, so you've got a nice vista from your front door, you've got lots of lovely natural light coming in. In fact, one of the podcasts, maybe number 48,
Yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah.
49,
Just throw numbers out there. Sure.
coming soon.
Yeah.
We could do the say you're looking to buy a new home because there's
Mhm.
loads of talk about whether you should move into a property before February 2024, which would because from February 2024 it will be period 9.
Oh.
So if you move into a home after that date for the next 20 years, when you do a flying star chart, it'll be all to do with period 9, where
Mm.
which is great. I'm not saying that's
There's
bad.
just a difference.
Well, there's a huge difference. There's you've got, when you look at flying stars, there's, in say period 8 house, you've got something known as the 81 combinations. So you've
Blimey.
got good and, yeah, I mean, it does get quite technical. And Nan told me off as well for being too technical. So
Nan
that's
is
why.
actually Leslie, by the way.
No. Nan's just the boss of us.
Yeah.
She's the one in charge.
Does
But
anyone know
she
what Nan's name is? We can do a quiz online. What's Nan's name? Find out on episode 45. Oh no, that's 45 now. 49.
the boss. but that's why I wanted to talk about master elements today because it helps you personalize your feng shui. So you will need to look at certain things, certain criteria, but you can also make the feng shui so much more benevolent or more auspicious, greater luck by tuning in to your personal
Yeah.
energies.
Customize that stuff.
Yeah. That's a much better way of saying it. Well done, Chloe.
Thanks.
So,
Personalize and
that
customize is like the same word.
no, it's different words, but the same meaning.
Trying to not make you sound silly, but you know what? Wish I hadn't. Yeah.
Sorry, I just creaked the chair. Okay, so
Jow.
no, so no. So, shall we continue?
I suppose so.
So, where should we start?
Element wise.
Yeah. So, what do you think a master element is? Because you've been listening to me
Oh, all my life.
Twitter on forever.
Forever, yeah. What do I think a master element is? Well, usually it's what we call self element, right?
Yeah. It's another way of saying it.
So,
Different words, but means the same thing.
Oh, is that yeah, that's the title of this episode. So a good example of me using the phrase self element is, Mum, I've got a new boyfriend. What's their chart? What's their self element? And then I find out, and then I know that my self element is yang metal or metal. So I'm looking for a specific type of person to kind of fill my needs, if it's romantically or if it's platonically, it can be something else. Or actually, I can have a platonic and a romantic relationship at the same time. So I'm going to absolutely ravel in my brain right now. Anyway, let's go back into the room. Self element, yeah. It's basically like what I would think. It's the overarching element of you. Like you can have lots of different things going on in your chart in terms of the element stuff, but then like your day is your self element.
Yes.
Or master element.
Yes.
But that's not necessarily the strongest one.
Yes.
Okay. So then it can be so for instance, like somebody could be yang fire, but then when you actually look into their chart, it's just all water. So their fire's not actually that strong. It's actually the water is like way more stronger.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
misleading.
Well, it's that when that happens, it's called follow the leader. So that's a techie term there, a feng shui smashing secret techie term then.
Wink. Mum and I both winked to each other, by the way. Guess you gotta watch the video to see it.
So you can
Smashing
determine,
Secrets.
yeah. So you can determine the strength of the self element, and that's important. That was not me. That was your phone.
Yeah, whatever.
So
stupid mail.
And that's important because then that could change how you react to different environmental influences. If you were born, say, with a self element of yang fire,
Yeah,
but the whole of your chart is water or metal or earth, and you've got a sort of more dominant concentration of the other elements, then you would actually that would be called follow the leader, and you would look at adopting the stronger element as the more stronger influence in your life, and so then it would change. I try not to be too techie because then it'll turn me off, but basically it's the heavenly stem of your day of birth. So when you look at your Barzi chart, so Barzi literally means 8 characters, and another way of looking at it is called the 4 pillars, because you have 4 heavenly stems sitting on top of 4 earthly branches.
And those are your hour, day, month, and year.
Yeah, yeah. So, and they all have different impact upon what's going on a daily basis, and how you react to the energy in your home or in your office, depending on the 24 mountains. So if your house, for example, my house is facing south, now you've got 3 south 1, south 2, south 3, and they'll all have slightly different energy patterns. They all come under fire, but South 1 would have a heavenly stem of Yang fire, whereas South 2 would be the earthly branch of the horse. Now, somebody that's got the dog in their chart, or the tiger, or the goat in their chart, as an example, would be really happy facing South 2, facing the direction of the horse, because it's very compatible. Whereas somebody who's got the rat in their chart will probably struggle in a house that's would be very dynamic, because the rat clashes with the horse. So one of the first things to look at is your master element. So you look at the heavenly stem of your day of birth. Yeah?
The heavenly stem, that's the top one.
Yeah. There's only 10. There's 5 elements.
2 for
And,
each.
yeah. And that's one is yin and one is yang.
Okay.
So you get the total of 10. And it's very pure energy from heaven. So there's no hidden stems. In earthly branches, there's 12. And within those 12, there are hidden stems. And the hidden stems can come out during a clash or a combination. So it could be, if you've got the pig in your chart, for example, this May could be quite taxing because it's a clash. The snake will clash with the pig, and the hidden elements inside the snake and the pig will be opened up and released. Now, inside the pig, we've got 2 heavenly stems, yang water and yang wood. So so my job would be to look at how compatible those stems are with the rest of the chart, and also look at what's going on in your in your feng shui, to see what likely energy reaction they will create. It could be a catalyst of good, it means a big sort of pressure to change for the better, but it could also be put your head down because it's going to be a bumpy ride. So this, I'm trying not to get too technical, but the first thing, the most important thing in order for us to determine anything else, is to know what the heavenly stem of the day of birth is, because that's like a cornerstone. Everything else is relative to that, unless of course it is that follow the leader rule, which is the exception. Most people,
How often does that happen?
it can happen, definitely can happen, but it's not as common as people as it what's the common thing? It's not as
It's as common as a common thing.
it's not as common as
A common
butter.
thing.
I don't know. It's not that common. But,
Yeah.
so most people would look at their heavenly stem of their day of birth, and then they can work out the energy associated with wealth and prosperity, the energy associated with business luck, or relationships, or health. There's all different aspects, and they're different for everyone, because not everybody's got the same self element, because there's 10 possibilities. Then you look at the season you were born in, and you can determine, and the year and the hour, and you can determine how strong or how weak that influence is. If it's very strong, then in your feng shui, you would look at creating greater balance. For example, using myself, I've got very strong water energy. I have aspects of the others. I do have all of the other elements, but my water energy is very strong. Now, my master element is water, and I was born in the winter season, the season of water, but I've also got lots of metal in my chart. And we know from the constructive cycle of elements, metal supports water. So we have to look at the relationship of the other, of how the elements can either support or exhaust another element. But I do have aspects of wood and fire and earth, but they're not as strong as the water. So my feng shui, I'm always looking for ways of enhancing those weaker energies. So because fire to me would be wealth and prosperity. Well, lucky for me, I'm facing a house that's south. So my house is facing my wealth direction.
Mm.
So every time I open a window, I'm allowing that energy in. And you can enhance it even further by activating it with, say, a water method or a fire method. I can stimulate that energy. I can use also. There's loads of different things you can do. There's loads of different things, but so basically that's how it goes. And for you as a strong metal person, your wealth and prosperity is associated with the wood element. So that's why I'm really encouraging you to enjoy your gardening, because you'll basically start growing money energetically. I'm going to cough, sorry. Just clear my throat. I've
So
been.
if so I'm just trying to think of how this kind of mirrors into Western astrology, because you've got your rising sign and your sun sign, just looking at those two. If you compare that to the self element here, do you think there's any correlation?
No, I think it's a very different system. And to
That's
be honest,
interesting.
yeah. I mean, I naturally gravitate towards Chinese metaphysics because for me, it just is so. It just makes sense. It's
Mm-hmm.
very natural. It's very organic. I just pick it up very easily. Whereas you pick up the Western zodiac system much more quickly. I get really confused.
Mm.
When they start talking about oppositions and squares and trines and rising signs and different houses, my mind goes to mush. But when I
Mm.
look at the Chinese metaphysics and look at how fire creates earth, earth creates metal, metal creates water, water produces wood, wood produces fire. To me,
Yeah, I'm
that
like, woo.
well, that to me, I see that in nature.
Yeah.
It's very natural. But so I that's how that's my preferred way of reading the energies. But yeah, I'm sure for you it's the opposite.
Mm.
But that's what makes life interesting, isn't it? So you can
Well, it's,
compare.
well, that's the thing that's interesting here is, I mean, if you get one person, one case study, and if you did a chart and I looked at their chart, we would come up with a similar result. And it's fun to try to kind of like weave those correlations out in these discussions.
Yeah, yeah, no, I find it fascinating as well. And
Yeah.
I've when you tell me about the moon, how the moon impacts on us,
Yeah.
I find that really interesting because when I have a wobbly day, you turn around and say, "Well, it's a Capricorn moon," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Again."
Yeah. Yeah. Those months turn around well fast. We've got an
So,
interesting thing happening actually when this episode comes out on Friday. Loads of things are going down. There's going to be a massive, big shifts going on. So keep your eyes peeled.
well, that is interesting because that does correspond to the snake,
Oh,
the
yeah, because
energy of
halfway through
this.
the month, it
Yeah, because
changes.
the first 2 weeks of May, between the 5th and the 19th, are there to do with the heavenly stem of yin fire.
Yeah.
Whereas the second part is to do with the earthly branch. And that is the snake. And the snake comes in on the 19th. I think it's the 19th.
Yeah, that's
Check.
Friday.
Yeah. So the snake is very much.
Mm.
So you've got that. It's a physical energy. So where the heavenly stem is the more sort of ether or pure heavenly energy,
Mm.
the earthly branch is more to do with matter and physical energy. It's denser, it's heavier.
Mm.
And that comes in on the. I'll just tell you the time with my magnifying glass. Uh,
Because on Friday we've got a new moon in Taurus. Jupiter has just moved into Taurus. We'll also be still in the Taurus season. So basically, if you look at your charts and see which house Taurus is in your chart, that house is going to be lighting up like a lighthouse. And it should have been lighting up with a lighthouse for a while now. But Mercury was in Taurus for a while and it was in retrograde, and it's just come out of retrograde as in like 2 days ago. So now suddenly, and Mercury's going to be in Taurus. So all of these things are going ping, 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 ping. So whatever house you've got, just reflect in that and see
What's
what's going on.
mine?
I'm not sure at the top of my head, but things where they were moving slowly because of the Mercury retrograde, suddenly they're all going to be going into like, woo, zoomies. Mine's in career and
Oh,
work.
really?
And I've been working like a dog recently, but I should be seeing the fruits of my labour very, very soon.
I don't know how to find mine. I'll let you find it out. Tell me.
Yeah,
But
I'll find it.
in the Bardsey, the snake is a huge energy for mystery, transformation, endings and beginnings. It's a very powerful energy. It also looks at taboo subjects. There's no fear, so it means sometimes when our subconscious throws up barriers when we come across it, or we encounter something that their subconscious is like, well, we don't want to go any further. It puts barriers up. Well, the snake has the ability to break those barriers down. It can help you confront your fears, face your fears, in order to release your fears,
Yeah.
because fears are energy blocks. So again, sometimes clients have really good feng shui and good Bardsey charts, and there's lots of harmony, but there could be some energy blocks. So we
That's
look at
man luck, right?
yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, you look at Heaven's Luck is your Bardsey. You can't change it, but you can read it and prepare.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Your
cool.
feng shui is something you can change. You can change your where you live. You can change the interior if you can't move.
What you
So
wear?
yeah, I mean, I definitely have got one client who he's got strong wood energy and he loves golf. And so whenever he wears red while playing golf, he wins because
Really?
yeah,
He
yeah,
must always wear red then.
yeah, he does, yeah, yeah, and he always wins. So yeah, I mean, some teachers scoff at that and say it has no effect, but actually I've had lots of success where color and actually color, if you look at wavelengths of color, and we're absorbing that energy, we're absorbing that information through our eyes. And I know people, there's color blindness, and some people can't see colors as precisely as, say, somebody else. But the fact is, every color will have energetic wavelength. It has a vibration. So red has a very sort of slow wave, so we can absorb a lot of it, whereas ultraviolet would be very quick. So so bees can see that more clearly, or insects can see that more than we can. So every color will have its own wavelength, and we will react to that on some level. It is subtle, but it still is an energy influence. So when I had an office once, I had something called a plant studio. I used to do garden design years and years ago in Hartford, and I had 2 rooms. I think, was it 2 or 3? Anyway, I had one room that was sort of limey green, and that's where I put all my plants, and I loved that room. But I had another room which was red, and that was my thinking room. Well, a lot of people found that way too intense.
You've had a lot of red walls in your life.
Yeah, because my fire is surrounded by water. So I'm always happy with strong fire energy and strong wood energy. That's and also the earth element. So crystals and ceramics and stoneware and the northeast and the southwest all carry that earth energy. So spending time in those sectors is another way to absorb that energy. But let's go back to the master element,
Yeah.
because I'd like to go through them before we run out of time. because then people can work out when they, because you've put up a link for the Barsi calculator, so people can print off put their date of births in, and then it'll turn it into stems and branches, and then we can post something which will decipher that. I mean, I think the Barsi calculator puts it in English as well, so it says yin or yang earth or whatever. But we can put something on Instagram so people can read it. But you basically look at the day of birth first, because that's the key for telling you which element is your wealth and prosperity, which one's your career, which one's to do with the friends, which one's how you respond to the other elements. Yeah. So should we start with you, yang metal?
Hell yeah.
so anybody that's got yin or yang metal in their chart, they will find that the water element, wherever that comes up, will relate to their business. It's something they produce because metal supports water. Metal produces water. So that's your career. So whenever you've got strong water, remember when you were living on the boat, how active you were, how busy you were, how much work was coming in, because you had lots of natural water in your environment. Now, you can also activate the north sector of your home, and your house is facing north now.
Yeah.
So you're not in the boat anymore, you're in a house facing north. So that's, again, a career direction for you. So it means that this house will support your business and your career. Yeah? Now, your money luck, being a metal person, that self element of metal, is your wood energy, because we know that water supports wood. So having lots of healthy plants, not dead or dying or wilting plants, because that's unlucky, but healthy plants is symbolic, or as the influence of your wealth and prosperity. So the more rich and happy your wood energy is, that's the east and southeast sector of the Bagua. So if that's, say, your lounge, then you've got a nice yang environment, all to do with the wood element, which means your opportunity for money is going to be stronger.
This is not going to help anyone on the podcast, but just like a quick question. Is east for me that way?
Yeah, the direction you're facing now.
So on that wall, I've got
Books.
loads of books and loads
Wood.
of plants.
Wood.
Well, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Intuitively brilliant.
That's true. Now, your power and status, your responsibilities, but also being a lady, a female with boobies.
Yep.
That means your fire element relates to the relationships you have with men, but also people in authority. And it's also your power, status, and responsibility energy. So if that were to be, and so now we're in the fire season. We've just entered May, the beginning of fire. Got June and then July. So that's all the fire energies there. That means your responsibilities will grow. It's good for your relationship, good for your power and status. So that's lovely. We're entering a fire season now, and your back garden is facing south, and you're enriching that with lots of new plants. So wood fuels the fire. So fire needs fuel, otherwise it becomes quite vulnerable and panicky, anxious. So having lots of plants and spending time in the garden, your garden, will naturally increase your power and status. And fire is also to do with, it's really good for marketing. It's really good for being seen, because it relates to the eyes. So spending time in that sector will naturally help balance your strong metal, but also, as a side effect, it will enhance your personal relationships, it'll increase your authority, and it's a good energy. The earth element for a metal person is their resources. So that's really good if you're studying and you're learning something, or you've got conventional resources and unconventional resources. That depends on the yin yang relationship. And then having more metal in your chart. So we get to autumn, say September, the autumnal season, that means you'll have naturally lots more energy associated with your friends and maybe family, co-workers. So because it's the same element as you, same element as your self element. So you look at how the five flavors of energy, the five elements, and their yin and yang value affect you. Now, for somebody that's got water in their chart, it's going to be slightly different. So, career for a water person would be looking at the wood element. Wealth and prosperity, they would look at the fire element. For a female with strong earth energy, that would be to do with their power, status, and relationships with men. If it was I should say, if it's a man with metal energy, then that is slightly different. So that instead of they're focusing on their power and status, they would actually focus on their wealth and prosperity. So for a metal man who's wanting to attract a female, they would look at their wood element, so the east or southeast, and they can activate that. Or if they wanted to enhance their relationship, they could pay attention to those sectors, but also have a look at maybe increasing the wood element, so paper, books, but plants, basically, lots of plants. And that will make them more attractive because, and not only that, they're wealthier. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
So a man whose master element is water, if they wanted to support their female relationships, then they would increase their fire element and look at what's in the south of their home. And earth would be their power and status, and water would be friends and colleagues, people. And again, you can have yin and yang so there are subtle differences, but Nan told me not to get too techy, so I'll try and keep it simple. Now, a wood person, so somebody who's got either yin or yang wood as their heavenly stem in their day of their chart, that would be their master element. Then the fire element is related to career. Wealth and prosperity would be earth. Power and status would be metal. And I've lost my train. Where am I? What am I doing now?
Wood.
Wood. So wood, so fire, so that what their business, wood supports fire, so that would be their business. Fire supports earth, that's wealth and prosperity. Metal is their power and status. Water is their resources, and wood would be friends and family. And then if they're a fire person, the earth energy represents their career, the metal energy represents their prosperity, the water element represents their power and status responsibilities, the wood element represents their resources, and the fire element represents friends.
Woo.
Yep. If they're earth, then metal is career, water is wealth, wood is responsibilities, fire is resources, and earth would be friends and family. Yeah,
Is that
I think
everything?
I think so. I think so. Yeah.
I'm just wondering how many of our listeners just want to go into your brain, download, and come back out, because it's like you can just remember like all of that just like that. It's impressive.
Oh, you're so cute. I love you.
Oh, thanks. I love you
You
too.
say all the right things. Yeah, I'll take that. I've
Well,
been
that's
doing this.
because
I do this.
I'm metal, so I
Yeah.
support water,
Yeah, yeah. In fact,
which is you.
Yeah, and because your metal is my unconventional resources, it's like you're my master.
Well, I knew that already.
Same as Nan. Both of you are
Oh,
yang
because we're
metal.
both yang metal.
Mm-hmm.
But then
But
what's
then
water for metal?
career, business.
So you're
Also,
good for our business, and
yeah,
funnily
and
enough, we both do work for Smashing Secrets, which is without you, it's not a thing.
and I balance you because you've got very strong metal, so you like water, wood, and fire for the balance.
Yeah.
You don't need too much metal, you don't need too much earth because that would tip the balance. So, yeah, I'm really good for you.
I knew that already too. Well, that was interesting. It all makes sense. I feel like it would really help to see a picture so that we can
Well,
remember all of that.
we could put that up. We could put something up on certainly on Patreon, because I'll do it. I'll do it a proper um, diagram with all the explanations on there.
Mm.
Yeah, that's
You can even
easy.
do a slideshow. You can do like your slides, and then you can have a voiceover where you can have like your little mouse that's zooming around. You can go like, "This is this. This is what this means."
Yeah, whatever you. I mean, you tell me what to do, and I'll do it.
Yeah. Oh, power, power, everyone, power.
But yeah, so basically, you need to look at your Bardsey chart and find out what the heavenly stem is, the top one, on your day of birth, and that will be your master element. And then once you've got your master element, you can find out which element is your wealth and prosperity, which one's your career, which one's your responsibilities. And you can and the Bardsey calculator even color coded, so you don't have to sort of read the calligraphy, because it's they've all got the symbols, so you don't have to learn that off by heart. You can literally just look at the colors. So if your heavenly stem is green, of your day of birth, then that's wood. If it's blue,
Mm.
it's water. So you can just use the colors. But yeah, we'll put something up on certainly on our Patreon page, but we can also maybe put something simple up on
Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah, yeah, and people don't have to pay for anything. They can just look it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then once you've got that, then you can start looking at your feng shui, because now you're starting to go deeper. So you're not just looking at the surface layer, which a lot of feng shui schools are very successful, hugely successful, just looking at the surface layer, just having that first sort of basic understanding of the Bagua and the five elements. You can still make massive changes to your energy, because you're already thinking in that terms. But once you start going deeper, the whole thing opens up, and
Mm.
the application is extraordinary. So you definitely would benefit by learning about your master element and its applications. And once people are familiar with that, we can go in all different directions depending on what people want. But the first one is to understand the five elements and their constructive cycle, where they support one another, and equally the destructive cycle, where they can exhaust one another.
Mm.
So we don't want to inadvertently activate something that's going to be making us weaker and more tired and exhausted. We want to create balance, and we want to boost certain aspects. If it's love, we if you're a man, you'd look at boosting your wealth. If you're a girl, you'd want to boost your power and status, purely for attracting a partner. So you can do that, but you need your master element.
All makes sense.
Oh, I'm glad you said that, because I was like thinking, does it make sense? Does
Yeah, 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 totally makes sense.
it?
Feng Shui, Bazi 101. That's like the fundamental slice of
Yeah,
pie.
yeah. I know in our previous podcast we've sort of we've used lots of technical terms, and we've also tried to introduce the language of feng shui with the five elements and the different sort of variations of the yin and yang of each five elements, and given different examples. But I just wanted to point out that it's the key for the next level is your master element. And once you know what your master element is, it starts getting exciting. You can start
Mm.
using the 24 mountains and start looking at compatibility. You can we can talk about clashes and combinations, and it'll make much more sense. I know at the beginning it's a bit overwhelming and it's a bit mind-boggling because it's unfamiliar, but just like riding the bike, unless the bike's too big and you fall over,
Yep.
it does get easier. Definitely gets easier once. And we've I think we've covered loads in the earlier podcast. So I think once this sort of is digested, I think it'll open up all of the others that before and after.
Yeah, cool. Very good.
Okay,
Thank
well, I
you.
think I've finished now.
Cool. Wow. Gosh, can't remember the last time we finished in 50 minutes. Golly. Well,
Any queries or questions?
no, actually, which is a first from me.
Ooh.
Everything was very clear and concise.
Well, I think we both recognise that it's getting dark now.
Yeah.
So it's like, wind it up.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna stop recording and carry on with working on the project. Woo wee.
and yeah, I've got to finish off the Bardsey transcripts for the Patreon.
Yeah. So I guess now we've got a little bit extra time. We can talk about what we've been doing behind the scenes if anyone's interested. If not, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time. If you'd like to carry on listening to our beautiful voices, then we'll carry on then. Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things I want to do for June is talk about the master elements and how each month will affect you. So this month I've talked about the Bardsey and the different types of animals. You've got the 5 different flavors of horse, 5 different dogs, 5 different goats. But I'm going to go into bigger or more detail from June onwards, because now we know just how much time is involved.
Oh, you're talking about the Patreon, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so I will be talking about master elements and the Bardsey and flying stars, and we'll just keep adding to it as we go. And I will have charts on there with the clashes and combinations. I mean, there's loads of things. I mean, we've been compiling recommended reading list and books that are useful. We're adding things all the time, and I've been getting up at 4:30 and starting work at 5 before I go to my job, and and then in the evening. So we're not slacking. We are
No,
working.
I'm very excited about everything we're doing.
Yeah.
We're also we're gonna have we're calling like a general topic about Chinese feng shui and Bazi that will be coming out each month. Like, what was the one that we just released this month was the Trinity of Luck. We did like a little blog on that. And then we're also going to have a monthly discussion thread. So we're going to think of a monthly question for our Patreons to discuss, and we can come in on the comments and have a conversation about it, compare ideas and experiences.
So you're posting a calendar with
and
these.
A calendar, yeah. So we're going to be posting a monthly calendar, which is basically like a menu, or it's basically like a timetable. Yeah, it's like a timetable of when these posts are coming out throughout the month, and we'll post that on Instagram and on the Patreon so everyone can get an idea of what to expect.
So really good if you want to join in, or if you want further clarification, or was that outside
you hear
again?
The people outside,
Yeah, they want to join in.
Yeah. Yes. Smashing Secrets. Yeah, so there's lots of things.
So let's just talk about sort of domestic stuff. How's Robin?
Oh, so if you're new and you haven't listened to the last episode where I've introduced that I've got a new pet, a dog called Robin. He's 4 months and 17 days old.
Poopy.
And he's very cute. Mom's met him. He's light as a feather, fluffy as a feather, looks
massive
adorable.
Ears.
Massive ears. It's a papillon, which is spelled Papillon, French for butterfly.
There was a movie and a book.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was about a prisoner escaped. It was quite a famous film, actually.
Is it Robin Hood?
No, it's called Papillon.
Robin the Papillon. But yeah, he's very cute. He looks like a Disney character. It's kind of crazy.
But he gets on well with Theo.
Yeah, oh my god. Him and Theo, my cat. Oh my god. Them two get on like a house on fire. They are so cute. They play all day long and then they snooze together. It's so sweet. Yeah. It's so cute. And it's like, because he's a puppy, you have to watch him all the time. So doing, so this isn't my full-time job. I've got another full-time job, and then like we've been working like 90 hours, I don't know, like something crazy. And then I've also got like the puppy that I need to watch simultaneously all the time. And I'm like, why is this happening? There's so many balls in the air right now. But yeah, everything is going very smoothly. We're doing dog training. I feel like all I do is work and dog training, but it's all going to pay off.
You're going on holiday, aren't you? You're going sailing.
Yeah, I'm going sailing on Friday. When this comes out, I will be going to the airport to Glasgow in Scotland, and I can't wait. Oh my god, it's been on the top of my bucket list for like years, Mum. It's like I really, really, really wanted to go because all of Dad's family is Glasgowian. Fuck, sorry. How do you say Glasgowian? Glaswegian, not Glasgowian. Yeah, they're all Glasgowian. Should I say that to a Glasgowian person? I'll be like, my family's Glasgowian. I can't say it. Glaswegian. I can't say it. Glaswegian. Glaswegian.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No, I'm just teasing.
Glaswegian. Glasgowian.
Yeah. Try that.
What is it? Anyway, gonna go up there, and then I'm gonna catch a train to somewhere else that I can't pronounce, and I'm gonna go sailing for a week, and it's gonna be very beautiful. And I can't wait. I can't actually quite believe that I'm going away in 2 days because I'm just like stuck to my laptop and or watching a dog at the same time. So
planting. You planted all those wildflowers.
Yeah, I've been gardening for I've got a garden now, and I'm really liking it actually.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got Mum's influence.
Yeah,
Mum's a very good gardener. Like we went to a garden shop. What do you call it?
Garden centre.
Garden centre. Yeah, went to a garden centre, and Mum just knew the names of not only all the plants, but like how to look after them as well. I was like, oh, I want this. She was like, no, I wouldn't get that because of X, Y, and Z. And I was just like, oh yeah, makes sense. And then she told me that like you pot all the flowers now, right?
Annuals.
But then they die after a year. And I was like, this is news. Like, what? Like, that, first of all, it's a scam because you're paying so much money for them to look nice and they die and they don't come back.
No, but
then you have to repeat the whole process.
No, you don't have to because if you deadhead the annuals, then they'll keep flowering. They only die when they complete their purpose, which is to produce seeds. So if you, so when the flower finishes, you can just pinch it and then the plant will send up another flower.
Okay.
Yeah, and keep growing. But if you didn't take off the dead heads...
Oh, it'd be like, I'm done. My work here is done.
Yeah, well, it's actually still producing. It's producing its next stage, which is to turn the flower into fruit, and in the fruit is the seeds. So for every flower, you've actually got lots and lots of seeds, and if you collect those seeds, so for every annual plant, you can have hundreds of new plants.
So what, do you just keep the head and then put it into soil?
Not the head. You wait for it to develop into a seed pod.
Oh.
So say you've got an apple tree.
Yeah, but apple tree, like that. I know what an apple seed looks like. What about if I had a flower?
Yeah. So in spring, the apple tree would produce blossom.
Okay. Are those seeds? No,
they're flowers. Okay.
All right, this is what happened in the garden centre. I was
those
an
flowers
saying, "Can I get this?" No, it's not good, Chloe. It's not good. Oh.
But each of those flowers will develop over time into the fruit, the apple.
Okay.
And inside the apple are the seeds.
But why does all the blossom fall on the floor then?
Well, it's because it's windy. If they or somebody shakes the branch.
I'm that person.
But if you didn't do that, and if it wasn't windy, and the flowers stayed on the tree,
the blossom,
flower, each.
But I'm picking the dead heads off of them.
No, not off the apple tree. You're doing that on your annuals, on your say you what was the
Chrysanthemum.
no, that's not an annual.
Oh.
So say a geranium,
Yeah, that's
or
what I meant. Geranium.
I can't think of the purple and white one you got now. I can't remember what it was
Oh, it's
called.
called Night Sky.
No, that's just that colour.
They're very cool, by the way.
Oh,
You can see a picture of it on my Instagram at ChloeRussell17. They are very cool.
ugh. Anyway, pinch those off, and
Mm-hmm.
the plant will produce more flowers.
Okay.
And if you leave it and all the flowers turn into seed pods,
Mm-hmm.
then you can keep the seed pods, and you'll have and you
Seeds.
save them till spring next year, because they're temperature sensitive, so
Mm.
then they won't
Me
grow
too.
in the winter in the same way they grow
Same.
in the summer.
Same.
But you just collect those seed pods, and in fact they pop open and they scatter the seed to
Ah.
plant for next spring. So you can save those, and then you've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of the same plant, which is produced naturally. So even though you think, oh, that's a scam, I've got to buy new ones, you don't
Yeah.
have to. You can collect the seeds. That's why I bought you all those seeds, to get you used to handling seeds.
Ah, very good.
Yeah, I have methods.
I eat seeds.
But yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? I love growing things.
Yeah, I'm very impatient. Every day I'm looking at the ground, I'm just like, where are you? And then mum was like, it can take like 2 to 4 weeks. And I was like, oh my god.
If the birds don't eat them, because birds.
No birds are coming into the garden because of the cat and dog that are constantly running around the garden.
So they're good.
Yeah. Yeah. They're basically like scarecrows for for urban London
Gardens.
birds. Yeah. But anyway, we've waffled on.
As is our way.
Yeah. For everyone watching the video, I've been blinking non-stop because I'm trying to keep my eyes open. And there was one time where I blinked and I looked at myself and like one of my eyes opened up before the other one because I really didn't want to open. I was really trying hard. It was like, that's how I feel. And I have to edit this episode straight away because
You're going on holiday.
Yeah, and kind of to throw more things into the work, I'm recording an episode for my other podcast, Talk of the Thames. I'm doing a paddleboarding episode where I have to be on a paddleboard recording tomorrow. I'm doing it tomorrow. And I'm like, oh gosh, yeah, for World Ocean Day, which is coming up. I feel like it's the 8th of June.
When are you back from your holes?
Sunday, the following Sunday.
Okay.
Glasgowian.
Try that.
Hang on. Let's ask the computer. If you're from Glasgow, what are you called? I'm gonna get something really rogue. Glaswegian. You're right. People from Glasgow are Glaswegians, and from Paisley are just spat all over the microphone. And Paisley are buddies, but no one I have met know what those. Nobody knows what people from Edinburgh are called, and then they've said Edinburghers.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Luckily I'm not going there.
Edinburgh is lovely.
I really want to go.
There's a castle.
I want to go everywhere in Scotland. Oh, I've got the British pronunciation. How do I play it?
Glaswegians.
There you go. Do you want to hear the American pronunciation?
Go on.
Glaswegians.
Did you get that?
Sounds quite similar.
Yeah.
It's not Glasgowian then.
No.
Try that.
What? Try what? What?
Are you a Glasgowian?
Glasgowian. Keep calm and be Glasgowian poster.
Oh,
you know what? There's literally only 4 results on Google for that word.
I'm surprised there's 4.
That's remarkable. Oh, today I met the kindest Glasgowian resident. I was only stabbed 6 times. What a pleasant fellow. Whoa.
I think it was in Glasgow where they, maybe not, where they did, they deep fry Mars bars.
Oh yeah, have you tried one of those?
No.
Yeah, it doesn't sound great. It sounds like it would melt in your mouth, like burn your mouth, like lava.
I think it's got batter as well.
Yeah, sounds weird. But there's loads of
Yeah.
people that have tried it.
Not me.
Anyway. Everyone that is still here, I'm
Now,
sorry.
for all of our lovely Scottish friends, I apologise.
Yeah, we got any Scottish listeners. That's wicked. I'm Glasgowian. Glaswegian. Yeah. Sorry, I need to stop now because that is kind of racist, and I'm sorry, I'm really tired. Thank you everybody for listening. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you've enjoyed. It's been very interesting. You can find out about the episode on Instagram if you haven't found it through Instagram already. And I hope you have a good rest of your snaky month. And
big change, big transformations, big shifts.
There's going to be big shifts also in the Western one. Leo's moving into Mars, or Mars is moving into Leo. It's going to go bish, bash, bosh. We got Jupiter that's just gone into Taurus for a year. So that's cool. Yeah. Okay. Love you, bye.
You're gonna put pictures of Robin and Theo having a love fest on Smashing Secrets because
sure, that's a request from Mum.
Yeah, they're our beautiful babies,
called?
my furry grandchildren.
Yeah. There's like another word? It's like as a cheerleader.
Oh, mascot.
Yeah, mascots.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh,
Closest
I just want to. What, to a baby, child, grandchild?
Yeah.
Damn right. You can leave me and my woohoo alone. Alright? Cool. Bye, everyone. Love ya. Love you, bye. Come on, say bye.
Bye.
Say bye.
Love you. Are we going now?
Yeah.
Okay, bye, everyone. Thanks for listening. Thanks for putting up with us.
Yeah. Ciao.